Well, let's talk about the great idea of putting an American port in Gaza. What an amazing idea. If there is a country in the world that the Gazans approve even less than Israel, can you guess what country that is? Yes, it is the United States of America. Because no matter what you think, deep down, a lot of Arabs in the West Bank, in Gaza, here, whatever they say, they know in their hearts that Israelis are native to the land. They just disagree with the concept of a different religion living with them. Ask, for example, what's the difference between the families that were originally living in Nablus, Shechem, that are now in the mountain versus those who actually stayed in town. Easy. Those that were forced out were Samaritans. Those that were allowed to stay in town, Muslims. Are you telling me that Samaritans are not native to this land? Of course they are. And how they are referred to by our sweet Muslims neighbors? They call them Jews. And when they are asked about their religious tolerance, they say, hey, those Jews are still alive, when they're talking about Samaritans. So see how tolerant we are. Amazing. 10 out of 10. And then, then Gazans, look at them. They run into the border and suddenly they remember that they're Egyptians and they're shouting to the Egyptians, hey, we're Egyptians. Yes, we know you are Egyptians. You were always Egyptians. But suddenly, your memory, some clarity came to your mind. You're remembering that you actually immigrated from Egypt when the Jews started working in the land of Israel because, where Jews are, money is. So, yeah, suddenly Israel became a very attractive place to be in. And then, when now it's not as fun being in Gaza anymore and being fighting this Arab-Muslim war against the non-Muslim world, basically, but of course Israel, which is in the middle of the Muslim world, which is suddenly they remember that they're actually Egyptians. Suddenly they would remember that they're actually Jordanians and Lebanese. You think they don't know where they're from. They know exactly where they're from. And they know that Israelis are native to the land. But you know who is not a native to the land? Who was actually a colonizer and who would be a colonizer if they set foot in the Middle East? Exactly. The Brits were never native. Here's something both sides were agreeing on in 1940 and 1948. The Arabs didn't want the Brits here and the Jews didn't want the Brits here because we both agreed for sure that no matter how much we don't like immigration from Egypt and from Poland, the Brits, they are 100%, no doubt, we all agree they are colonizers, all right? And it's the same with the Americans, The Gazans, a lot of them would be like, you know what? At least Israel, they hate us. Don't worry, they do. But the approval rating will be way higher than the United States because the United States is 100%, without a doubt, a colonizer. So nobody would be happy to be here. The Israelis would be super unhappy to see you here, and the Palestinians would be just as unhappy to see you here, and maybe that will bring peace to the Middle East. We could finally agree on something. Anyway, it's amazing, The way the United States does not understand the Middle East is mind-blowing. Of course, why would you need to understand the Middle East? You're way better than us. Anyway, what happens now is that how the U.S. that has so much to say about the way we give aid to Gaza, try to bring aid to Gaza, and thus far they've killed 5 people with their aid. Every truck that came through Egypt to Gaza was looted. At least one truck driver that came from Egypt was murdered by the Gazans, and all the trucks came back completely shattered. How fun is it to give them aid, isn't it? And then when you drop the aid through the air like the Americans did, they somehow managed to kill 5 people. Tell me more about how easy it is to ensure that there wouldn't be any civilian casualties in Gaza. I'm ready. I want to hear the lecture. I want to hear the lecture about how you do everything better and smarter and how you know how to do anything. and we do not understand, and we do stuff wrong. Yeah, I'm listening. Anyway, I'm sure that once you'd be here, just like the United States, the current regime in the United States doesn't care about its soldiers anywhere in the Middle East, where the Jordanian government warns them that they're going to be attacked, their base, and then they get dead soldiers because they do nothing about it, because obviously, like, who is the Jordanian king, right? Why would you listen to people who actually live in the Middle East? What do they understand? It's going to be the same in Gaza, sweethearts. It's going to be the same in Gaza. You're going to regret it so fast. And we don't want you here. We are a sovereign country, you know? We don't even want... A lot of us don't even want American aid. We just want you to not suffocate our weapon industry, or that you'd supply those weapons and those deals that we made. You know, just stick to your contracts. That's it. And we know you don't get it wrong. Israel is used as a playground. It's very small. It's the best advertisement that you can get. It's an advertisement campaign. The reason that Israel gets a lot of military aid, or whatever you want to call it, is because they are not allowing us basically to create as much weapon as we want. And this is why we had to stop producing fighter jets. And the second reason is because it's great advertisement. Everything that the Israelis use, all the world is like, hey, where can I sign up to buy it? So what's nicer than that? If there is real help that Israel gets, is from the Christian American people and Jews that didn't go completely lunatically progressive, which I don't know the numbers. The American Jews that come here are obviously not tilted all the way to progressiveness. They're just a little bit tainted by it. Any other complaints? No. Like, comment, subscribe. Please support me as much as you can. Maybe I'll open, and probably should open a Patreon or something like that. Any recommendations on what's the best platform to use? I'd be happy to hear. And let's use our free speech while we still have it, because it looks like it's on borrowed time.